Be aware. This could impact you. Be aware. Just because it's not in your backyard doesn't mean it's not happening. This impacts all of us. I've been in Colorado since 1981. And the part I just love is just the access, the recreation, the mindset of the people, the openness, the willingness. And of course, you know, who doesn't love the mountains and the climate? There is a law that says you cannot prevent somebody from developing their mineral rights unless it negatively impacts somebody else. And I thought, wow, okay. What is that? Like how impactful does it need to be, and how negative does that need to be for it to be stopped, even though it is within the realms of allowability? It's really hard. You know, I have a background in medicine, in diagnostic medicine, and it's hard sometimes to, you know, like, oh, I have a runny nose, right? So, well, is that because you have allergies? Do you have a cold? Do you have COVID? I mean, you know. I didn't know he was having some bloody noses, and we were all at a barbecue for the neighborhood, and a couple of the other people at the barbecue said, yeah, I started having them too recently. And I'm like, what? And I said, all right, we got to report this to CDPHE. You know, it's one thing if one person has it, right? And, you know, I mean, I don't necessarily think too much of it. But yeah, that was interesting. So I think that was it. Headaches, some of the smells that come out of there, it's just hard to describe some of them, but they were just so, I just wanted to stay inside and not be around it. And, you know, and then I worry about my dogs. What is that constant exposure to this on any level, whether it be noise, whether it be chemical, whether it be what, like, you're not going to see that until 20, 30 years from now. This is like some cross between Godzilla and some mythical beast, you know, Godzilla and some dinosaur. I call it Frackosaurus Rex. It rumbles and grumbles and spews and spits fire in any direction, and it will at any time of the day or night. And the scariest part about the whole thing is never knowing when the beast comes out. The official drone measurement, where they measure from some middle well to the corner of the building, our residence here, I think is like 587 feet. It is probably approximately 400 feet to the wall behind me, and probably only about, you know, if I go down to the property line, it's probably only 350 feet to that well if that wall was down. It's very close. I look at what I do on my property, regardless if it's here or anywhere, is like, how do any of my choices impact my neighbors? None of us knew. None of it, and only affected residents within that 500-foot perimeter. So even folks at the beginning of the street had no idea this was going in because they didn't get a package. I think a lot of folks are just disheartened about, yeah, I'm happy to log that, and that was really annoying, but I don't expect anything to become of it, because what can become of it? So Germany holds the checkbook to this operation. And as one of my neighbors on the next street one day when I was out walking the dogs, they're like, well, at least it's an American industry and the money's staying here. And I'm like, well, actually it's not. You have to think of the overall relationship and connectedness to each other, our connectedness to our environment, and to just think about the future generations. And I know that sounds kind of philosophical and ethereal, perhaps, but look at where we are today with climate change. Look at where we are today with health. Look at where we are today with what we know about this type of industry, and it still continues to occur.